we realized as we were building this year's budget, going back to March when we shut down, the state of Michigan was not passing a school budget. They didn't pass it. They didn't pass it. They put it off. They put it off. Our board had to adopt a budget, not knowing what the state of Michigan was going to provide in terms of resources. There was talk at that point of perhaps losing as much as $700 million of funding from the state, and we had to plan accordingly. And so we had several budget scenarios that we had developed pending whatever the decision was. And the federal government, through the CARES Act, gave a whopping $230,000 to the West Bloomfield School District, which did not help much. And they did not come through with other funding for local and state governments. They're still debating it. I heard last night maybe something's going to happen this week. I'm not going to hold my breath. So the board has to make all these decisions about finances, and we're dependent upon the state and federal government for the revenue. So given that, we also had a report last spring showing that over time, we have a steady decline in enrollment population throughout Southeast Michigan, and West Bloomfield is no exception to that. And you can see it on the data where it might be 1 or 2% a year, but over time that builds up. And we have 5 elementary schools right now, and the data shows that we have about 30% excess space, depending on how you look at it. And that's not going to, we don't see rising enrollment. We see this sort of continual decline. So combining the uncertainty financially revenue picture from the state and the federal government with our demographics, the board commissioned a school efficiency study task force to take a deeper look at where we are in terms of school efficiency. So that task force made a report on December 7th, and the board discussed that report, and we're moving forward from there. But the biggest factor really is one of uncertainty over funding, combined with a relatively certain projection demographically, because the births have not been there. And so every school district in our area is looking at that. And so we're just needing to be prepared to, we're going to have to cut the budget. It's a matter of how. Do we cut teachers, or do we cut excess capacity and operate more efficiently? Is sort of the question before the board.